Okay, so one time I was at work and my boss came in my office and he asked me was I single. I said why. He said just a curious question. I said I'm okay, but yes I am. Ever since then he continued to ask me out on movie nights and all my favorite places. Mind you, IDK how he knows all these things. Most of my coworkers I had lunch with was complaining about him also, and he just kept asking. Next day I went to work. He kept insisting that I give him a hug every day in the morning before clocking in and heading to my office, until he thought it was okay to touch my ass, and I punched him in the chin and proceeded to my office. After work that day I decided to go and talk to the police about it. The next day I came into work, and while I was on the way in, the police, with my boss in handcuffs, was on the way out. Comes to find out that was my boss's twin brother. He was arrested before for sexual assault and he killed my boss, and have been acting like him for a few months. My best friend had asked me to come over her house, so I did, and she had an older brother named Luis. He would always look at me, and I'm not gonna lie, it turned me on because he was hot. But one day my best friend was sleeping and I went to the bathroom, and I walked on him showering and he pulled me inside and we did the nasty, and weeks later I ended up pregnant. Till this day my best friend doesn't know my son is her nephew. So one time I agreed to talk to this boy because I didn't want to hurt his feelings, and I've known him for a long time, so I agreed to talk to him. But he always wanted to FaceTime every single night, but I hate FaceTiming people I don't like, so I would just make up excuses not to call him. But when I didn't, I would just go on mute or say that something came up and I'd hang up. But it got out of hand when he started to call me his girlfriend to his friends, and I was not about that, so I had to end it. But I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but he was so clingy and I hate clingy people. So I typed up a whole paragraph pretending to be my dad, saying that he doesn't want us to be boyfriend and girlfriend and he doesn't want us talking ever again, and that I can't date until I am 21. Then I texted him after pretending I still wanted to be with him, but my dad wouldn't let me. But to be honest, the main reason I ended it with him was because I saw a picture he posted on his Snapchat story with him and his friends, and the one friend was really fine, so in reality I stopped talking to him because I wanted his friend.
One time when I was 5 or 6, a teacher found a pair of shitty underwear in the bathroom, and all the teachers had to line up their students to find out which kid needed to be sent home. My teacher literally went round the class putting her hand into our pants to make sure we had underwear on. I'm still pretty traumatized from feeling her crusty, dusty old woman hand in between my ass cheeks. Anyway, it got to the last kid in my class and my teacher put her hand in his ass, and when she pulled her arm out it was covered in shit. The kid was crying, so was the teacher. One student threw up and I caused a chain reaction and everyone was throwing. It was so gross. The vomit smell was there for weeks.
I had a boyfriend back in junior year, but I was close with his friends before I dated him. When we were dating, I had his friend in one of my classes and he was so sweet and funny, but never went further because he respected our relationship. Then my boyfriend and I broke up and I was so upset. I told him about it and he said he was here for me. Over the past few months, the more I talked with him, the more I realized I liked him, but I wasn't sure if he would like me back. One day I opened up to him about my depression and anxiety and he was so kind and understanding about it, unlike how my ex was. He works at a boba shop and he asked if I wanted boba. I said yes jokingly, but surprisingly he asks for my address and shows up around 11:30 at night since he closes. I had to sneak out to the front, but it was worth it. The moment I saw him with my boba and when he said I'm always here for you and you can talk to me about anything, I knew I made the wrong choice in dating my ex when he was there all along. I am still currently falling for him and he doesn't know how I feel, but I know for a fact I don't want to lose him.
One time at lunch, my best friend wanted to make out with a boy in the bathroom and asked me to take the second girl's pass so that nobody could come to the bathrooms, and the boy's friend did the same. Then we all went to the bathroom and my friend went into the boys' bathroom, so I left her there and she said she would be back in 10 minutes. After 10 minutes I went back to the bathroom and she was still in there, so I thought she was going to get raped, so I burst in and saw my friend crying. I grabbed her arm and tried to drag her out, but then a teacher came in and detained us all as if it was a motherfucking crime scene. They told us to give them our phones and I got to go to the office and the teacher questioned me like it was a Q&A, like bitch fuck off. Then she let me go and back to class and I started having a panic attack.
My head, this teacher will call him Mr. Jack because why not? And one day me and my friend were walking down the hallway talking and we saw Mr. Jack doing it in the classroom. My friend took a photo when we were in his class. We showed it to him and we wanted all A's for the rest of the year. He said yes, everything was going good until one day he came to school with a gun. The school went into lockdown. He was looking for us all over the school. I was so scared I called my mom and told her everything. She said she was coming to give me and to run out the window or something. I have a black mom so she don't play. I told my friend and my BF to come with me. We jumped out the window and ran to a McDonald's around the school. My friend got us something, we ate and went back to our place. Turns out the Mr. Jack had found us. He shot me in my arm. It hurt so fucking bad. My mom pulled and told me to get in the car. My BF was helping me stay awake. I passed out. When I woke up I was in a hospital bed and was told I was dead for. So in California whenever it gets hot I hate it because then lots of ants show up. So one day it was hot and of course there were ants that were all over in my house that came out of nowhere. So we sprayed them with Raid and they died. So I go to bed and I wake up the next day and I just feel my ass itchy and it just feels weird. So I go into my bathroom and spread my butt cheeks into the bathroom mirror and see lots of ants on my butt and even inside of my asshole. I was so scared because I felt them inside of my butthole and I was embarrassed, but I told my mom to help me get them out and so she told me I had to bend over. And oh fuck, as soon as I bent over it smelled so fucking bad, I'm not even kidding. It's probably the same smell as Peach's coochie, so my mom had to wear a mask and gloves, and so when I bent over she put her hands in my butt and pulled them out. Ever since then I have been terrified of ants. One time when I was 15 I went to the beach with my best friend and we were there all day. I ended up sleeping over at her house and before bed I chugged 2 bottles of water. I felt very dehydrated. We were sleeping in the same bed and I fucking wet the bed. I peed so fucking much it woke me up and it was all over her too. I was panicking and didn't know what to do, so I went to the fridge, got chocolate milk and poured it all over the bed and all over her and said I spilled chocolate milk and we need to wash the sheets, and she believed me. I'm 18 now and she still has no idea.
In kindergarten we were all learning how to write or something and then the plumber came. He went in the bathroom and my teacher followed him in there and they shut the door, so you can only guess what they were doing. I was a weird kid so I stayed in my seat while everyone else got up and tried to look through the crack in the door. So it was a bunch of kindergartners silent as mice trying to look through the door of a bathroom while 2 adults were doing who knows what in there. Finally the curiosity got to me and my friend and I, let's call her Sandra, got up and tried to look through the door, but it was no use because there were like 26 kindergartners in our way. We kept trying to look until the door flew open and me and Sandra ran back to our seats, which were like 2 steps away because we had the closest seats to the bathroom. My teacher came out looking suspiciously sweaty and yelled at all the kids and told them to sit down. Then she said thank you to Emily and Sandra for staying.